So I will be giving useful examples about this topic that you can use. So let's start.
To begin, let's try to understand what Marxism is all about. What the heck is Marxism? Marxism is a cultural theory that embodies a set of social, economics, and political ideas that its followers believe will enable them to interpret and change their world. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels were disappointed with how workers were treated in the great industrial factories of the 19th century. They believed that the working class or the proletariats were being exploited and oppressed by the bourgeoisie, or as the ruling class, who generally owned the factories, or as Marx likes to call it, the means of production. Karl Heinrich Marx, he is a proponent of this theory. He was a German philosopher, economist, historian, sociologist, political theorist who was born in Trier, Germany and lived in London. Marx's literary criticism investigates literature's role in a class struggle. What is class struggle? Class struggle or class warfare is the political tension and economic antagonism that exists in society consequent to socio-economic competition among the social classes or between rich and poor. It is said to exist because different groups of people have different interests. Class struggle happens when the bourgeoisie pay the proletariat to make things for them to sell. The workers have no say in their pay or what things they make, since they can't live without a job or money. Karl Marx saw that the workers had to work without any say in the business. At this juncture, let's try to examine the short video from which Marx's approach is evident. Take note how Marxism and revolve around this movie. This movie makes the Marxist class struggle obvious, and is one of the most obvious films which portrays a difference in class in the struggle between them. It is also a great example of capitalism. The Titanic itself is a symbol of capitalism and greed. The way the owners of the ship were striving to make a ship faster, stronger, and more luxurious for the upper classes is a representation of what Karl Marx meant when he was talking about materialism. The main story of this movie is about the love of two passengers, Jack and Rose. Of the different social classes, this movie conveys the inequality between first class and third class who want to get into lifeboats. The crew also threatened to kill the passengers with guns because they prioritize boarding the lifeboats with first-class passengers. This certainly points an ugly picture of the rich. And also the mother of Rose was selfishly concerned with her daughter's marriage to Karl, a rich man, in order to sustain their depreciating family. Karl gives a big diamond to Rose in order to interest her mind. In conclusion, the scene of this movie proves that history is based on an ending class struggle, as Marx stated. This movie conveys that the inequality and unfair treatment between bourgeoisie and proletariat must be corrected.